Hey everyone, I'm going to go over some pocket styler information for you guys about how to redefine a shape, create your own garment shape, how to go beyond just this basic shape that we have here so that you can have your own unique fashion garment. And there's lots of ways to do this. And there's lots of tutorials within this tool. If you go down here to the help section, and I think it's in the basics tab. Yeah, so in the so down here in help, you go down to the basics and go into points and lines. And these videos here are really wonderful that Nordcurrent has provided, and sort of go over some of these things. And they also have subtitles in your own language, which is really helpful. So everything that I'm going to talk about here in this video is also captured down here, okay? So you've got a couple places to refer back to. But so this is a sleeveless dress that I've just picked out, and I want to, make this something unique and special to me as my own design aesthetic. So one of the first things I'm going to do to alter this is I'm going to turn on points and lines, and you'll see that the garment has all these anchor points here, and they allow me to move the shape of the dress. So this is one way that I can manipulate this to be something more that I want. So if I want it sleeveless, I'm going to come down, and take off these sleeves. I'm just going to keep manipulating down these points and lines. That's what they're called, points and lines. You use these little orange and pink tool things here. I'm probably not saying the words completely consistent, but now I've got a sleeveless dress, right? And you can see in the preview icon, see there's like this weird kind of hump. So one thing that's really important too when you're making your garments is that periodically you'll turn off, you'll go to this eyeball in the layer that you're in, the model layer, and you want to hide the model, hide her, so that you can see what's going on, behind the garment. And so this is now by clicking on, I can double click on it. So I was right here on the torso layer right here. I can just click right on this layer and go and see it's on neckline back. Go up here and turn on points and lines, and then I want to kind of adjust it down so it's not a big hump, like right there. And I'll probably need to adjust the sleeve too for now. And then turn her back on. It doesn't impact anything in the front, but now when I go down to this icon preview, I can see it's more consistent with this look. So now I made something unique with the top, and with the bottom there are a lot of default shapes here, which is really helpful. So you could make it tighter, have a little slit there, have a slit here, puffy, whatever you want. But say you want to do this, but you don't want this slit to be here. Well, of course you can move it, but what if you really like the way that this shape is here and you don't want to really get rid of that? So one thing you can do with the points and lines is you can actually delete and add them. So what you could do is come over and delete that where that slit was, move this down. Okay, so we have the bottom line now all consistent. And say you wanted to actually have that slit moved over here. Well, what you're going to do is now you're going to add a point and kind of add a point. And right here, you can grab the line, and you could now, move this line up and then you can actually make a little point on it right here. And now that's a really nice, easy way to create like a little slit right there. And another thing that you can do is create some movement in your line by adjusting with these little squares, okay? So now I've created, you know, a more unique bottom with, you know, in the shape that I want to have it be. Okay, so there, I've got this. So going back up to the torso, say I wanted to have sleeves that were off the shoulder, then what I would do is I'd use one of the features that they have here called a detail. And in the details, they've got these red shapes right here. And these red shapes are kind of like an extra pattern piece, or I like to think of them as clay, or, you know, because they're very stretchy, and if you add the points and lines to them, then, you know, you can see I can place them down, you know, where I would have, you know, a sleeve. You can see it's looking kind of like a hot mess right now, and that's okay, because this is how I'm going to get something kind of unique and interesting. But I'm going to have to play around with it. And remember, you can just, if you're like, oh, I really love this curve, I want to kind of keep this curve, but I want to be able to make this shape, you know, be unique, but I don't want to move this bottom curve, you know, or maybe you want to make it ruffled or have more curves. You know, this is where you're going to achieve that, by manipulating these points and lines, okay? Now, I had just mentioned that I had wanted to do an off the shoulder kind of cuff, like coming down here. But something that's kind of unique and interesting, I guess, is that I can't achieve that, and you'll see why. So if I move it down here, see how it's behind her arm? Well, when I picked this particular dress shape, this silhouette, I picked a sleeveless dress. As you can see over here, I only have the armhole back layer, but I don't have an upper arm, lower arm, anything. So if you did plan on making a sleeveless dress or any kind of dress, but you wanted to have some sort of decorative detail on the arm, you're going to have to make sure you pick the full sleeve garment in order to get access to the arm layer. So that was my bad on this, but that's okay. I can still do something kind of fun with this. So say you're kind of like, oh, well, I wanted to see how this looks so far. It's like, okay, that's okay. But you want to get back to shaping or moving this red detail layer, but now you're kind of stuck. So this is the shape detail layer. So just make sure you're back on details. Okay, that's how you're going to get back to getting access to moving that around. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe just make this be like a cool forgive me, sometimes when I'm making this stuff I can't use all my good words. I think what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to get rid of this. See, here's an example of how I'm going to delete that layer, because I don't or that point, I don't really need that there. I'm going to kind of make that more consistent. And what I'm going to do, I kind of have this vision now of, oh, I don't want to totally alter that curve. So I got to be a little bit careful. See, I got to be careful in how I'm manipulating this. But see, I'm going to come down here and then kind of want this to go up at an angle a bit. Okay. I don't know if this has to go up here. But anyway, so you can see it's a lot. You can get into some really fun, you know, design decisions with these points and lines. Okay, so let's take a look now. Yeah, I think that looks kind of cute. I might actually want a couple of these ruffle things, a couple of these shapes. So if I want to keep this shape and not recreate it from scratch, but I need a second one of that, I can go in here and hit duplicate. And it'll say duplicate the detail, and I'll say okay. See? Let's turn off points and lines so I can grab it. See? And now I've got two of these that are a little bit consistent, and then that way I only have to really kind of shape this one to match. Okay. And maybe alter that a bit. And easy peasy. Now I'm done. Okay. And just to keep things consistent, I'm going to go into my torso layer, and I'm going to use this clone style brush, and I'm going to click on shape 2 and shape 1, just so that I can visually see the cohesiveness of the shape that I've made so far. Okay. So, and then another thing you can do, which is really fun, is if you want to have some more realistic kind of folds and shapes in the garment, like where there might be bunching, or you know, like over here, like maybe there's a little bit of bunching here where it's gathered at her side. Well, then you can just add a little bit of these dots and lines to create that puckering that you can then go in and deal with in shading layer, which I'm not going to go over in this video. This video is supposed to be short, and I'm just going over how you can achieve some unique shapes. But as you can see, you know, once you paint the shadows in, it'll look really good. Okay, so this is just one way that you can take your basic shapes and achieve something unique. Okay? This is one way. I'm going to go ahead and get a new garment because I want to show you guys some other ways that you can create some unique shapes, okay? So let's go into a full sleeve top, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. Say you get to this shape and you're really like stumbling and caught in your mind about like getting beyond the shape, like you want to get beyond this basic shape, but you're kind of struggling to understand how. Well, one thing you can do is in the layer, see this is dotted line is highlighting this lower arm sleeve layer. So one thing that you can do is you go into this fabric layer and turn opacity all the way down, okay? And you want to, and then you can take the clone style and repeat that. Just put that on every single one of these lines. Bottom, back, left lower sleeve, upper sleeve, left sleeve, back. Okay. Now, if we turn off our model just for a minute, you'll see we just have a basic shirt shape, right? But say you want to play around with shape on her and really kind of shift it. Say you have an idea for a sleeve. Say you want your sleeve to be kind of puffy up here, right? So we're going to make sure we're on the right. So we're going to click on this upper sleeve layer, right? And we're going to turn on our points and lines. And we're going to kind of make this puffy up here. And then maybe it's like comes down here. And one thing you can do that's really cool, I mean, so I've gone over sort of adding points and lines, but you can control the shape of this line too. So up here you'll see there's a very straight, a curved, and an S shape, which gives you like greater control and flexibility on, you know, how you're going to get your shape in here. And then say I want to go back down here and I want to have it be more like a 3/4 sleeve. So I'm going to put this, you know, lower sleeve detail here. And then I'm going to, you know, adjust this a bit. And again, maybe there's some weird kind of ripples in the, you know, right here where there might be some more puckering. At the, you know, the bunching point in the fold, who knows. But anyway, you can adjust that here. And then I want to pay attention that you can see like the back of the sleeve has to also get into alignment here. Okay. So now I've got kind of like an interesting sleeve going here. And then say I want this to be more of a crop top. Well, then I can adjust this here. Right. And I want to make sure I get to the bottom back layer and adjust that as well. Right. Okay. And then I don't really love this neckline. I can look here and see if there's some other necklines that I like more, maybe this one. And at this point, if I kind of know like, oh, I've got, you know, most of the basics done of the shape, I'm feeling pretty good. I can go back in now and I'll start on the torso layer, and I'm going to turn that color opacity back on. Now when I turn the color opacity back on, you can see that the bra is going to be kind of an issue. So go down to your model and turn off your bra layer. Just so you're not seeing the bra, so that you can not be inhibited in any kind of shape you want to achieve. And there you go. Something that's really important when you are manipulating these shapes, I don't know why I always have a problem saying manipulating, but I do. But something that's very important here, and I'm going to just pause from this tutorial just to go over this with you guys. This model is at an angle, okay? She's at an angle. So when you're designing your shapes and putting things on, you know, putting on the pattern, I mean, you can already see this is lopsided. Your model is at an angle. And there's a couple things you can do to stay in alignment with the actual shape of the model. So in your torso layer, you can grab one of these squares and you can make it a big box. See how there's a boundary? I can't go higher or anything like this. But put in this big red square and go into every single one of these options within the square layer and turn everything down to 0. Everything. Okay? The glare, the shadow, the fabric, the texture, opacity, okay? Until you have nothing but this square here, okay? Then go to brush. Doesn't matter if it stays at the bottom or top. I just have a habit of putting it at the top. Go over here, okay, to brushes. Make your brush line like an 8, okay? You can turn spacing off. And from the middle of her forehead, like, or actually from her belly button, okay, put one dot at her belly button, hold your shift key down, and just go straight up from where the belly button is, okay? Then click on the belly button again and hit shift and put your paintbrush all the way down to the bottom, okay? That looks a little bit off. Let me try that one more time. I think it's more towards her knee. Wow, that's okay. Anyway, and then again at her belly button, go straight this way. Well, that's also off. Wow, I'm really not doing great at this. Okay. I think it's because it's hard. Well, whatever. It's hard for me to 100% see where the exact line is. Obviously. Wow. Wow. Super bad at this. It's okay because you'll all be doing the same. So it's all. I don't feel alone in totally messing this up. Okay. We'll just call it that. Okay. So as you can see, this is like the center of her body. And then if I turn down the transparency on her torso, let's turn back the fabric down a little bit. So you can see that the belly button's not 100% consistent with where her cleavage is. You can actually pick like a go to brush back on that square layer, not the torso layer, but now that you can see, grab a different color, grab like a yellow or whatever color, and then also have like a line that's gonna kind of, is that gonna be off? Yeah, because these lines are they're very but you want to angle it kind of towards the belly button. I don't know. So, but you can see though that, let's go back to torso. Let's turn on the fabric. You can kind of see though how it's just not centered. Like it's not centered. It's not just straight in your face, right? I mean, look how off-center the center is. Like normally the center of this square would be somewhere around here, but it's just off enough, okay? It's a really important thing when you're making your garments that you're paying attention to the fact that this is a reality, okay, in these shapes. It's not centered. And if you put something in the center, it just looks weird, honestly. It just looks weird. Okay, so let's hide that. Let's go back here and let's deal with this. This torso side is going to be more. There's going to be more here than here. This will be less. This will be more. And that's just how it's going to be. And so you want to be making these adjustments, you know, so that things look normal, right? Oh, a little random yellow dot. Anyway, so now I can go in. Now that I've got kind of my basic shapes going, I can go and kind of put these, adjust this back so now I can really see my garment. And now I've got, a kind of unique shape. I need to make sure, though, that I have not forgotten to adjust this sleeve so that it is consistent in my, let's see. There we go. So in my profile icon preview, I don't know why I said profile, but my icon preview should be, consistent with what's happening. So again, I don't love this blouse, but I'm just trying to show you there's another way to achieve a look, okay? Now let's go over a third way you can manipulate a shape to get a garment the way you want it to be, okay? I'm going to stay in tops because I think a lot of people are going to be in tops. Let's go for a full sleeve top again, okay? So, so what you want to do is you want to, this next kind of way of showing you how to do something is if you're more of like, someone that likes to draw your shapes, before like say you have a fashion drawing, or you're just more artistic that way and you just want to draw your blouse. Well, this is going to be the way you're going to want to do this. What you're going to do is you can come in here, and we're going to completely turn down every single layer that's in this blouse. Okay, so there's nothing here. We're going to basically erase this blouse. And this is how you would do that. So we have a basic shape we're completely erasing. Okay, let's just get rid of it all. Okay, and now I just have the model. Okay, we're in a t-shirt layer. I've got all these layers to make the shirt, but for right now, for the purpose of just getting our idea to the model, we're turning all this off. Now say I want to paint on here, look, it's not going to show up, right? That's because everything is turned off, right? So to be able to draw on your model, we're going to go over here. We're on the torso. We're just going to throw this. You're going to go over here to details and just get the red box, the red square, and basically just go and use your clone tool and onto the square, make it invisible. This is what we call an invisible detail. Okay? So once you're here in this visible detail, grab your brush layer, bring it to the top, and now you'll have like a drawing canvas. So now I can draw, like I want an off the shoulder type blouse. Don't worry that actually let's go over to the upper sleeve, because I do want to be able to draw on the arm as well. The way that they have organized layers can sometimes be a challenge for this process, but it's worth it to set up these. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to clone the style here and then drag the brush up here, go into brushes, and then my brushes should be saved. So I'll just click down here. Don't click in here, but just click here. And now I can actually just kind of pick up this. Yeah. Okay, so now I'll go back to my torso layer in the square. I'm sorry, square one, torso layer. And now I can kind of just keep sketching, like, like I want to have like a ruffle here. I want to have, I want to have this here. And then I want to maybe come down again. And I'm just drawing with my mouse. I don't have a pen. But if you're someone who has like a Wacom, I don't know, whatever, some kind of pad and stylus, if you're a drawer, if you're, if you have any kind of pen tool, then you might really like doing this kind of style more. Say you want to have like a ruffled, fun, flirty blouse. This could be one way that you achieve your design. So now, like, what do you do now? Okay, now you have like kind of the basic outline of what you want to do. You've kind of drawn on here. How do you get this garment made now? Well, when you do it this way, this is the definitely more advanced way to get this shape. But one thing that you can do is go into your torso, turn on points and lines, and now you can just kind of manipulate your lines, your garment lines into the drawing that you've done, right? Now you just kind of match this up. to what you've had. And if you're like, oh, well, I just want this to come out a bit more, then that's fine. Don't worry about the ruffles are a whole different thing here. I'll show you in a minute. But let's get this mirroring what your vision was, right? Okay. So then now we've got kind of like our basic shape in the torso. And if you want to do the ruffles have to be its own thing. So again, you're going to go into detail. I sometimes like this curved one better just because some of the shape work's already done for me. But so I'm in the torso layer. I want to kind of get this. I want to get this going. So I'm going to, grab the shape, make sure it's sort of consistent. I'm going to just sort of give this a nice little arc, right? Okay. And then if you want to do your ruffle shapes, you can put all your, get some movement here with this. And then you're going to have to just kind of play around with how manipulating your ruffles. And I'm not going to go into painting and shading your ruffles. We're just going over some, unique ways that you can, get your points and lines in your garment shape today. I just don't want to, it's kind of like a whole thing to paint these ruffles, which we'll go over in another video at another time. This is just to kind of show you guys how to get some shapes. Okay, so there's shape one, the first shape. You could just save time and clone it if you want. Just make sure you put it underneath shape 3 because we want it to be under here, right? So then you can kind of stretch it out and then go in and sort of, adjust it however you want. And if you want to be extra lazy, you can. And I'll show you extra lazy, which is, clone it again. and now let's move it up here to this. Let's see, we're in shape 5. Let's go ahead and just use this as a, let's see, for this ruffle shape here. We'll get it going. That's the only thing is if you're gonna stretch it out, you're gonna have to really manipulate this shape. But anyway, this is just an example of how you can, get into these shapes, these very basic templates that are provided, and get in here and start rearranging these basic shapes into something that your own original idea, your own original design. And it just takes patience and some effort and time. It just takes time, to get things looking good. So, okay. And then what about this? So here's something that's come up too, is like, to get it going onto the sleeve over here. Unfortunately, the way that they have separated the layers of sleeves and torso, it's a challenge to get these into in alignment. But you're going to have to make, your own piece here. I would have it actually come over into the torso some more. Don't just put it on the sleeve. But have it come around. Again, sorry, words are sometimes a challenge when I'm trying to get a shape or something here. Okay, this is looking kind of not great here, but that's all right. Okay, so now I've gone from, you know, I've kind of got this. Let's get this torso fabric layer on. And let's go ahead and then let's get our first square one. And let's just turn this brush off so I can now I can see, you know, I've kind of got this shape. I need to obviously manipulate this. The bra is showing, so I'm going to go down to the model, turn the bra off, and now I can see, you know, turn off points and lines. Now I can see I've got my garment here. You know, this is my own original design. And, you know, obviously I would not submit this. There's a lot of work that still has to be done, but this is just an example. Again, I don't want to stray into other parts of the tool right now. I just want to show you many different ways to achieve different unique shapes, okay? And for the very advanced painters of the group, if you have this, you know, painted layer on and you want to just paint it, you can just keep all of this, turn off the outline, turn off the fabric layer, turn off texture. Oh wait, she's indecent. Hang on a second. Let me fix her. Okay. Turn off these layers and just paint on your fabric. If you know how to paint textures, you know how to paint details, just paint in. Just keep everything in this torso layer invisible. Just turn everything down to 0. Everything, the shadow, everything should be down to 0. And then it's basically like it's not even there, and you can just keep painting onto this layer however you want to, okay? Okay, so I'm going to end this tutorial for these points and lines and shape manipulation here, because I'm trying to make shorter videos that are just more in line with the actual topic that this is. So this video has been about how to create original design shapes within the tool. And I hope you guys learned something and had fun, and I'll make more videos soon.